Vlad Fesun is a music critic with 20 years of experience working in the press, on radio and TV. He is also a disc jockey with 20 years of experience performing in Ukrainian and international music festivals. You are watching the Tuner show about real-time Ukrainian music, and today the O Band is here with me in the studio.
По місту я йду собі, я чую твої пісні, сонце в очі. Згадаю вчорашні сни, де море, і поряд ти проти ночі. Хвилі шепотіли нам про краї далекі, там, де пальми і лелеки, але ти тут, я тут, і тому так добре, коли тихо, коли поряд.
It seems to me that we live in an era in which newly established music bands and singers do not want people to find them on the internet through search engines, catalogs, etc. The fact is that for me, it seems impossible to find the O band through the Google search engine. I know of several other examples in world practice.
Я знаю еще несколько таких примеров в мировой практике.
What should those people who want to get acquainted with your creative work do? Greetings to all. I propose you enter O group or O band into internet search engine. This gives you better chances of finding it. We also tried this and faced the same problem. Did you succeed by entering O group? Yes, I did. I think your mobile phone or tablet is well customized. To what extent is the name of the band justified from the business vantage point, or is it simply your whim to try and promote the band? It's great if it works. Maybe bands B, F, X, and Y will soon appear on the music scene.
Если получится, то здорово. Возможно, появятся группы B, F, X, Y.
Это будут наши дети.
I heard that music bands with simple names eventually run into a similar problem.
Куда более простое имя.
What name of a music band can be simpler than O?
Более простым, чем О.
Konstantin.
Там тоже есть буква.
By the way, this name also contains the letter O. Just imagine how many guys named Konstantin you can find in Google.
Пожалуй, наверное, больше, чем...
Probably more than the O band.
Ну, разумеется, это там еще одна...
This is another demonstration of freedom of creative choice. Let's talk about how the band was formed. Was there a combination of creativity or something rational and pragmatic desires as to what the band should be?
Творческой мысли, чего-нибудь совсем иррационального.
Was there anything special that you guys did in order to find a place for the band in the limelight or on big stage?
Обеспечить себе такое счастливое местоположение на сцене.
Конечно, такие мысли были.
Of course, initially such thoughts ran through my head. First of all, I started composing because I love music. After that, I proposed to Olya that she join me. Naturally, in the beginning, we pursued certain aims. It was not only about creating music for ourselves, but also presenting it to others. We wanted to earn money and do what we love, and we want some positive feedback.
И все. Хочется, чтобы это нас кормило, чтобы мы занимались тем, что нам нравится, то, что мы любим, и это какой-то фидбэк давало.
Each of you has serious musical talent. One has classical education, while the other has a jazz or folk music background. Is it true that pop music is the so-called easy path to success for musicians that have the extensive experience in the strong musical background that you have?
Можно сказать, в карьере.
Ну, мне кажется, это очень...
In my personal opinion, it seems it would be a big mistake to think so. But we do not get upset when people say that it is easy to write pop music. But try and write a pop hit that the entire country will sing in unison. It is very difficult to write a simple song. As I know, you do not create simple songs. Well, it is quite simple to listen to them.
Ну, посмотрим.
We shall see, I don't know. Maybe your songs did not yet get through the trials. I think that you guys simply refuse to create a simple pop music song.
Как раз от совсем простой поп-музыки вы и сами...
I think that pop music, in the very broad sense of the word, is in its content quite diverse and is shelved into certain categories.
Понятии в состоявшемся и разнообразном. Существует совсем примитивная какая-то, наверное...
At the same time, it is out of the ordinary and has a certain deep content. It is more difficult than it may seem at first glance.
Более сложные, чем может показаться на первый взгляд. Наработки, материи...
You should have some base materials which are not so easy to create and play if you did not engage in this for quite some time.
Не имели долгое время дел.
Ну, а поп-музыка в
What is pop music? What does the word pop mean? Is it popular music? As we see, Ukrainian popular music today is quite different from what it was 5 years ago. What kind of songs were in pop charts 5 years ago, and what do we see today? Thanks to Ukrainian headliners, we can be heard, because 5 years ago, I even couldn't imagine that we could create something that people would listen to. Now we are invited to participate in music programs. Earlier, this was impossible.
Куда угодно. Раньше
с
невозможно
одной
было,
стороны,
мне
я,
кажется.
конечно, могу с вами согласиться, если на это смотреть совсем с поверхностной точки зрения, с точки зрения человека.
On the other hand, I can agree with you if to look at it from a different angle, namely from the superficial viewpoint of a person who could listen to only 2 programs aired on Ukrainian radio and TV programs broadcast on 3 channels. But all the same, different trends have most likely evolved in the Ukrainian music scene. Let's say that it was always an ambiguous trend, because underground popular music always existed, especially in the 1980s. It wasn't played on radio, but it was recorded on cassettes and was popularized through some underground or illegal channels. Basically, this music lived its own life. There are many such examples. There were groups that prompted this music. Among them, there was the Sister Vika band, which can be called the founder of pop punk, and the early works of Scriabin that can be called a prototype of popular music. They played music on a synthesizer, and musicians created some kind of array. There were different types of researchers. One cannot say that all pop music that was created passed through the office. One cannot say that all pop music that was created passed through one office.
Нельзя сказать, что вся поп-музыка проходила через какую-то одну канцелярию.
Мы сейчас говорим о поп-музыке.
We're talking about pop music, but you are talking about underground music. I'm saying that Ukrainian popular music was always different. There was not only legal pop music that was given the stamp of approval and presented to the broad public audience of music consumers.
Мне кажется, что именно вот так вот.
Yes, that was the way it happened in more recent times. Then it can be said that this is the way it is happening today. If we do not have the internet, then there are no alternative channels apart from those that are used by state TV and radio broadcasting companies. I don't know. I never listened to music that was on radio or TV. I listened to music which I liked. It was mainly foreign music, because radio and television never played music that would impress me. I can't remember even one time when I listened to such music.
На радио или по телевизору я никак не было такого, чтобы я включил, и мне что-то понравилось, что-то зацепило. Какая-то музыка. Не знаю, почему это. Да, совсем. Вот вообще ни одного раза такого не было. А вот
Recently, such guys as Vanya Dorn became popular in Ukraine. He creates perfect music. Thanks to such bands as Onuka and Mannequin, thanks to people who are ranked at the same level as pop music, that becomes popular among the broad masses of music lovers. I think that this never happened in the past. In fact, it definitely was not the case.
По-моему, раньше не было такого, однозначно не было.
Мне кажется, что это как раз такой, возможно, немного наивный максимализм.
It seems to me that it is so-called naive maximalism. This is a time of establishment of new bands that help each other and say, finally we appeared, but early there weren't any worthy musicians and nothing happened. Don't you find that due to this, you do not have any idea what happened in this society 50 years ago, 40, 30, 20, and even 5 years ago? Then people were kept within the so-called limited bounds. There were people that understood that they could not transcend those bounds. They even felt comfortable living within those bounds. This was their limitation.
Конечно, были какие-то, может быть, более скованные рамки. Но это были скованные рамки у людей, которые понимали, что они не могут из них вывалиться, что это их какой-то комфорт, это какое-то их ограничение. Сейчас и у вас гораздо больше средств для того, чтобы чувствовать себя, скажем, не такими уж ущемленными в своих правах. Согласитесь, к вам не приходят комиссии.
Now we have much more possibilities to not feel, let's say, so limited in your rights. You're not monitored by commissions, and Komsomolets does not cut your trousers or sew them up. And this, to a certain degree, is why today we have the freedom of creativity. This allows you not to think about social, domestic, and political problems. You can generate and bring to fruition all your creativity creative ideas. You can generate and bring to fruition all your creative ideas. Although it seems to me they still exist, I see that today lots of young musicians face one problem. They are invited to go to the air on TV, their songs are included on radio playlists, but they still complain about it. Do you complain about it? Are you invited nowhere because you do not want to take part in any project? Or are you invited everywhere because you are that fortunate?
Они жалуются на это до сих пор. Вы еще пока не жалуетесь, вас еще пока никуда не берут, потому что вы никуда не идете, или вас уже везде берут, потому что вы вот такие вот удачные.
No, we're not involved in partake in any project because we do not even intend to do so. The fact is that we do not know how to do that because the majority of us played another kind of music. I studied at a jazz faculty. I don't know what was going on in this world and how to get onto radio or how to get on the live program. I just started to discover that we need to execute a certain stage of work. We should be able to do audio mixing. I know that radio music has to meet certain established standards. But there are no jazz standards. Our show hasn't established standards and it will not force its views on you. I like your music in its original form. We don't have any standards. We do not ask musicians to fit into timing. We do not tell them to write songs only about the sun, the moon, birds, water, and flowers. Here, you can sing about anything you want and everything that you want to do in your life. You can do that right now as we speak.
Чую, чую, потеки хтось сумує за тим, що було відхоло, але далі буде. Далі буде, як і було, тепло. В круговерті тіл ти знайшов мій дім. То чого боятись, відколи ти мій птах, моє серце у твоїх руках. Далі буде сон. Може сни. Я шукатиму завжди. Лети. А далі буде сонце.
Это шоу «Тюнер», которое исследует процессы...
You're watching the Tuner Show about the real-time Ukrainian music. I'm Vlad Fisoon, and the young and, to my mind, very progressive O band is here with us today. We just talked with you that what is going on right now is something impossible, and now you have the opportunity to take part in a TV show. There are no problems connected with your look and your repertoire. Do you present your music as standard pop or non-standard pop? How do you feel about these mystical people, program directors, music editors, and other so-called higher forces who control the Ukrainian pop music industry? Are they beneficial to you?
К вам благосклонны эти мифичные люди, которые называются программные директора, музыкальные редакторы, не знаю, и прочие высшие силы, которые как-то управляют украинской поп-музыкой.
Taking into consideration the fact that we were invited to participate in several radio programs, I think it is very cool. It is luck, but no TV channel has so far agreed to show our music clip. Did you get feedback from people who have already watched your clip? Is it so unique and luminescent? People paint mushrooms in all their comments. Where? In online chats? Where? In online chats where they write excuses and then paint lots of mushrooms? Yes, mushrooms. I can say that this is, for example, a hint at the Mushrooms band which is invited to participate to all music shows. How else can I explain it? The fact is that Ukrainian TV channels that show clips of English, French and German clipmakers demand from Ukrainian musicians to show very bright, quite simple and clear videos that will not incite any contradictions.
Французских, немецких клипмейкеров. Почему-то от нашего исполнителя они требуют очень яркую, довольно...
Is it your wish to make Ukrainian music easier to perceive and to promote a concert tour, draw applauses and receive flowers from the very start, or how is it in reality?
Более простым для восприятия, обеспечить ему гастрольный тур, аплодисменты и цветы на ранних этапах, с самого начала, или как?
I guess so.
Вы же можете сказать им, например, что...
Can you ask them why these foreign musicians can flaunt on your channel? Is it because they have passports of another country? Do you have the right to ask questions? It seems to me like a situation with naughty children in kindergarten who can behave bad and do anything they want, and others look at them and can't allow themselves to behave that way. Even the children ask their nursery governors, but why are they allowed to do that? Where is the justice?
Воспитательница, ну почему? Ну где эта справедливость находится?
Справедливость-то все равно не восстанавливается. Ну, мы зададим вопрос, а почему вы берете там...
Justice will never be done. Just imagine that we ask the channels, why do you show clips of John Newman? Let's see what a wonderful clip it is. Why don't you show our clips? Of course, they will say, because this is John Newman. It is true that it still happens. I think that we should pose this question to the TV channels because we're only musicians. We can only do the things we did a couple of minutes ago, and that is create our music. And in order for it to be aired on radio and TV, it has to be promoted by professionals in this field. Usually this profession is called band manager and producer of a band, And what about producers? Do you have them? It is being assembled in molecules. Do you need such a person? I know a few situations when song performers say that a producer is a vestige of the past. This is just another mouth to feed in a working team, because this person does particularly nothing for a band.
Мало что решает.
We need rather a band manager than a producer.
Ну, обычно останавливаются на концертном директоре.
Usually musicians enjoy having concert director. Sometimes they say it is enough to have a person who shares our music on the internet. You would call him a digital manager. I think it is enough. But some people need a makeup artist, a costume specialist, and a massage therapist who would help you relax before a concert, and maybe a personal chauffeur who always wears a cap with a gold band.
Подготовиться к концерту. И еще там, наверное, водитель автобуса, который будет всегда ходить в фуражке с золотым околышем.
We need the last one. What? What exactly? We need the last one above all.
Возможно, кстати, ваш барабанщик справится с этим.
Maybe your drummer would be good for this role. He is very spectacular. All he needs to do is buy a picked cap.
Только поэтому взяли, потому что он так выглядит.
So we take him with us because of the way he looks.
Не, ну а если серьезно, вы определили тот круг...
But let's be serious. Did you define for yourself a range of functions you need to fulfill? Did you find people who could help you become popular musicians? Do you realize what you want to achieve in your life and when?
И понимаете ли вы на сегодняшний момент, кем вы хотите стать и когда?
Да, мы понимаем, и как-то сейчас оно...
Yes, we realize it. I would say this is not a quick process, though it is also not a slow process. And we hope that our band will develop actively in the future.
И мы надеемся, что оно как бы сейчас будет дальше все так продолжаться активно, как сейчас.
Very soon we will achieve the level we are striving for, because the guys write very good music. When I listened to the tracks, the majority of which we heard today, I thought, why you shelved them for 2 years?
Большинство, которых сегодня вы услышали, им уже сколько, 2 года? Я говорю, вы что, 2 года это лежит в ящике?
No, not all of our songs. I didn't play only half of them. Am I right? Only our first song 2 years ago, the rest of them sometime later. How many years ago? Half a year and a half?
Но вы сейчас чувствуете себя все-таки коллективом, который находится...
Do you feel like a collective that is in the stage of active formation? I would compare it with the formation of a planet. Initially, it was just cosmic dust that generated the flow. It caused thermonuclear reactions. I would say that now it is in the process of a vigorous boil. Or is it a completely formatted continent?
Процесс активного кипения. Или это уже застывающие континенты и образование чего-то такого стоящего?
If to compare our group with the planet formation, I would say that it is only lava. We even have videos of our first concert, but we do not post them on the internet because they have bad mixing. No, we will put them only on closed links in YouTube.
Ну что ж, отлично, пока все эти
Excellent. While your music archives are inaccessible, I offer to listen to the state of your music right here and now in the studio. Let's listen to something performed by you.
Пожалуйста, давайте послушаем что-нибудь еще в вашем исполнении.
Забагато машин, забагато магазинів, забагато машин, забагато магазинів, забагато машин, забагато магазинів, забагато машин, забагато магазинів, машин, забагато магазинів, забагато машин, забагато магазинів, забагато машин, забагато магазинів, забагато машин, забагато магазинів. Хотіли мушечки, помовче трошечки, мовчи сьогодні, завтра буде самий сок. Коли забудеш, затанцюєш мовчачки. Багато бачив я тих ваших казок. Мушечки. Забагато машин, забагато магазинів, забагато машин, забагато магазинів, забагато машин, забагато магазинів, забагато машин, забагато магазинів, забагато машин, забагато. Хотіли мушечки, помовче трошечки, мовчи сьогодні, завтра буде самий сок. Коли забудеш, затанцюєш мовчачки, коли згадаєш, помовчи іще разок. Хотіли мушечки, помовче трошечки, мовчи сьогодні, завтра буде самий сок. Коли забудеш, затанцюєш мовчачки. Багато бачив я тих ваших казок. Мушечки. Мушечки. Трошечки. Мовчачки. Мушечки. Самий сок. Ще разок. Самий сок. Мушечки. Самий сок. Трошечки. Мовчачки. Мушечки. Самий сок. Ще разок.
Это шоу «Тюнер», которое
You are watching the Tuner Show, which is telling about the processes in real lifetime Ukrainian music. I'm Vlad Fesun.
В гостях группа О.
And the Jan, as you call yourself a very progressive O band, is here in the studio with us today. Your music creates the impression of a combined idea. All three compositions are united by a general aesthetic sound. I would say that they're united with a very fresh idea of perception of the process currently occurring in society.
Они объединены какой-то общей эстетикой, объединены какой-то, я бы сказал, очень свежей идеей восприятия тех процессов, которые происходят в обществе. Да, есть какие-то очень
Some of your songs are full of a poetic perception of urban life at a time when the rest of them are about the things that exhaust us, noise, vanity and chaos. It inspires and irritates at the same time.
Это как одновременно и вдохновляет, так и раздражает. И вот все эти какие-то двоякости, неоднозначности, это что? Это попытка...
What do all the ambiguous things mean? Is this an attempt to look at usual things from multiple angles and make your listeners and potential admirers to do the same?
Ваших потенциальных поклонников?
This is simply a stream of consciousness. I know where music and verses come from. This is simply my vision of the world. I do not try to do that intentionally.
Я бачу цей світ і все. Я нічого не стараюсь сказати спеціально.
Были ли какие-то, скажем...
Has any music editor ever tried to correct your songs? Who said, guys, these songs are not yet popular or they are not already popular. This line is similar to Yesenin's verses and this one's to Scriabin's. Do you have such songs? Is there a person who can say, don't do that?
Ну, не знаю, скажем...
Скрябина у мене є цитата.
Ну, то есть, бывает ли такая... Ну, и вообще, есть ли кто-то, кому позволено...
Do you know a group of people, maybe one person or maybe your mom, whom you can call and say, Mom, I want to ask you for advice? I am not sure that this refrain is good.
Позвонить и сказать, мам, ты знаешь, я тут не уверена, там, вот в этом вот припевчике.
Sometimes I ask my mother for advice, but most of all, I listen to the advice of the guys. Nobody else can have such an influence on my music as they can. We discuss it with each other.
Между собойчик.
Каждый из вас придумывает себе...
Does each of you make arrangements?
Какие-то аранжировки.
Sacha makes all the arrangements.
Ну, пока что так. Мы вот просто только собрались.
Yes, when we started to write music, I composed and all I wrote verses. But later she started to write songs and make arrangements to them. Sometimes I changed something, but sometimes I did not correct anything at all. But the guys joined us later. Earlier, we wrote music, but nobody played it, so we invited the guys and just started jamming to see what could be done.
Пишем музон, и хочется уже его играть. Типа вот. Пригласили ребят, теперь начали играть «Мечта».
Would you like to play together with a drummer, a guitar player, and a bassist, or is that a burden for you?
Или это, наоборот, как-то обременяет?
Приятнее в 1000 раз.
Of course it is much better, but if we have a keyboard player, a horn section, a string section, a choir and an orchestra, it will be totally amazing.
Еще приятнее будет.
Да, но это...
But it can result not only in mutual creative thrill, but also can provoke certain conflicts in the band.
Но и возможность конфликта.
No, we select people so that we feel comfortable with them, and that is fun to play and communicate with them. As a rule, we have been acquainted with them for a long time, so it is pleasant to be with these people in one place.
Приятно находиться в одном помещении, долго.
Существует ли вообще это общество?
Does the society of young Kyiv musicians exist at all? Do you communicate with each other? Do you help each other and ask for advice? Do you ask them, for example, to borrow a musical instrument that you need? Where is it situated? Where does it go down?
Одолжить инструмент, который очень нужен на вечерок. Где это находится?
Earlier, musicians gathered in some hip coffee shops and exchanged new information with each other. Where is it situated now? How do you get into such a society? Where is this environment?
Обменяться чем-нибудь свеженьким. Где это сейчас находится? Как в это общество вообще попасть? Где эта среда?
Общество, ну вот лично для меня.
For me personally, this society was at the Glier Kyiv Institute of Music where I studied. There, I got acquainted with all the guys. Later, I got acquainted with the friends. I also met some dudes at nightclubs. So it is the society of musicians. We meet in particular at the institute.
В процессе обучения познакомились. Или на джеме познакомились.
Do each of you have a higher education?
Музыкальную?
Да.
Music education? Yes. I think all of us do.
А что они спрашивают?
Did anybody ask you to show your diplomas when you were accepted to the group? For example, oh, I see you have a diploma, that's a plus.
Берем или не берем?
Нет.
The requirements of the casting were very rigid. Sasha is a very harsh man, despite the fact that he is now smiling for the camera. Yes, only people with red diplomas can join us. No less red than your cap.
Сейчас достаточно активно опять.
Today, the attention of general public is drawn to talent shows of various kinds, which are quite competitive in nature.
И больших кругов аудитории приковано к всевозможного рода талант-шоу, которые имеют в себе соревновательный момент. Интересно ли вам подобное?
Are these shows interesting for you? Would you like to take part in one of them? Or is it strange for you when musicians try to compete with each other and become prize winners?
Пытаются как-то обойти друг друга, там, выиграть призовые очки, что-то такое.
We shouldn't compete with each other. Everyone should do what he wants to do and what he loves to do, and do it as well as possible. We do not try to win over someone because music is not a sport.
Просто насколько я вот вижу, даже в нашей...
As recent events occurring on the Ukrainian stage show, victory in competitions means absolutely nothing and results in nothing.
Выигрыши в подобных состязаниях почти ни к чему не приводят никогда.
Вони кличуть весь час, вони дуже багато вже разів.
Me and the O band were invited to take part in the Holos Ukraina show on several occasions. Really? Yes, we were invited to participate in music contests. But is your group still in a stage of a boiling lava? I don't know how they find us. I think that everyone just came together there. It sounds like this. Everyone has already participated in the show, so they finally decided to invite us. I'm not mature enough. I'm not ready. What should happen for you to agree to participate in the show or understand that you have to think about that at some point in your career?
Хотя бы поняли, что над этим стоит
Do these competitions provide good prospects for the future?
Они дают
They simply show your face on TV. Yes, a large number of views on the internet.
Девочка там спела там на голосе.
For example, one girl sang in Holos Ukraina and got to 500 or 600,000 views. She sang a song by another author. I would say she sang normally. The show simply promotes a particular singer.
Да, но если за этим... Просто у меня такое ощущение, что да, это вытаскивает какого-нибудь, возможно...
It seems to me that such shows are an opportunity to present an already accomplished young singer to the public. But the show remains a show because the process of the singer's development is not sequential. It can even cause professional psychological trauma that leaves the permanent scar in one's personal career. Let's remember some of the prosperous Ukrainian bands. Almost all of them conquered their audience. They gather it and do everything possible to keep it interested in their music. They said, we will give only one concert a year. They made their fans wait and left them teetering on the edge of their seat.
Производили какие-то, не знаю, разные действия, которые невозможно сказать, там, нет, они вот там говорили, мы будем играть один концерт в год, и, пожалуйста, ждите, и там тянули интригу, да, и точно так же они не бегали, не хватали.
They didn't ask people to attend their concerts and didn't say, gather people and organize a concert for us in the Palace of Culture and the Palace of Sports. There is no recipe for the development of a band, but there are processes promoting creative work that has already been done. And it seems to me that the accelerators of this process can be harmful for musicians. That begs the question, are they useful or detrimental?
Мне кажется, что именно поэтому вот такие вот ускорители этих процессов, они могут быть несколько губительное. Полезное или губительное?
Мне кажется, что они могут быть...
I think that the process will not take place at all if you have nothing to show to your audience. You appeared on TV, it is cool, but if you were shown on TV and there is no any information about you, it is bad. But if people notice you, enter your name in Google search and see that you have lots of songs, and it was very interesting, this is progress and a step in the right direction.
Ну, конечно, просто, наверное, для этого нужно быть действительно
Of course, but in order to get recognition of your fans, you have to be a real phenomenon that will sink into people's minds. And I have any doubt that today we're dealing with such a phenomenon. Your fourth composition will be testimony to this fact.
Четвертая композиция, которую мы сейчас послушаем. Напоминаю, вы смотрите шоу «Тюнер». Меня зовут Влад Фисун. У нас в гостях группа О и четвертая песня.
Космічна тиша. Друже, ти не просто електрична миша. Лишися. Я виберу тебе, лишися. Я виберу тебе. Хочу бути Пікачу. У покемона гра щоразу нова. Гей, давай нову. Хочу грати, доскочу. А ти зі мною, а я тобою. Хочу бути. Насті довгі має вуха, але кажуть, що не кожного відслуха. Лишися. Я виберу тебе, лишися. Я виберу тебе. Хочу бути Пікачу. У покемона гра щоразу нова.
You have been watching The Tuner Show, a program about real-time cool Ukrainian music. Our band was here in the studio. Catch you later, folks.
Пока.